What's going on, guys? Victor here. In today's fillet demo, I'm going to show you how to fillet up this blue line tilefish that we caught while deep dropping down here in South Florida. Really cool fish. This is a deep water species that we have down here in South Florida. You guys see this fish's pupils are really big because these guys will actually live anywhere from 500 to 1,000 feet of water. So they're on the very bottom where there's very little light. So the little light that does penetrate down there, they got it maximized with those big pupils. Real interesting looking fish we have down here. So these blue line tiles are pretty scaly, and for a scaly fish I really like this knife. This is a 7-inch Dexter, and the reason I like it is because I have a serrated edge on this side and then I have my traditional edge on this side. So this is where this knife shines. So just like with any fish, I always like to kind of start right around the head and the collar of the fish. I'm going to take this serrated side and I'm able to puncture through those scales and not dull my knife. And it makes it really easy for all your snapper species or basically any scaly fish. You guys see how that edge just effortlessly goes through those scales. So I'll usually do that from the head to the tail, knock off those scales, and then I'll flip my blade over and I'm going to use this edge now. I'm going to rest this knife on the tilefish's spine and I'll just slowly work my way up. You know, you can make as many passes as you need, and I'm just going to start to reveal the flesh of this fish, and I'll usually do this until I get to the backbone or the center of this blue line tilefish. Now tilefish, like snapper and grouper, they got a pretty big rib cage and set of pin bones. So what that tells me is I'm going to need to give it some effort to break through those pin bones. So once I freed up enough meat to get to the center of the fish, I'll take my left hand, grab the fillet, and I'll start to break through the pin bones, which are right here. And you got to give it some pressure. Once you do it, you'll kind of hear it and it'll reveal that rib cage. Once you break through the pin bones, then is when you can continue your fillet. Point the tip of your knife down on the other side of the backbone, just like so. And I will just take my knife and glide over the rib cage. And I'll just keep doing this. Some people prefer to go through the rib cage. I like to go over it, that way I don't have to remove it in my final fillet. Okay, so we're going to set this aside and then flip my tilefish over. Okay, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to take the serrated edge of our Dexter knife and I'm going to use it to get through that outside exterior. And that's why I really like this knife, because if you have any hard exterior of a fish, scaly, or something that's super bony, it just makes your life a little bit easier when filleting. Okay, now I'm going to use this. Now I'm going to use the traditional edge, and I'm just going to start separating this tilefish's flesh from its spine, like I said, until I get to the backbone. Serrated side once again, go around this fish's pec fin down to the belly right there. Now I'm all the way to the backbone once again. So once I do this, same thing. Firmly grab this kind of shoulder piece with your hand, get here where the pin bones are going to be, and you're going to want to push against them to break them and get over the rib cage. So once I've separated the pin bones, now I'm going to be able to go over the rib cage. But remember, if you don't break those pin bones, you're not going to be able to go over that rib cage. One final clean cut by the tail right there, and that's all there is to it. You guys see what I mean? This tilefish, he's got a really big rib cage. It goes to about halfway down his body, and that's pretty much all your bottom fish are going to have, a really big rib cage. This knife is also perfect because you can skin with it as well. The only thing you got to watch out for, please be mindful that you do have an edge on this side of the knife. Now, the best way to skin any fish is always to line it up with the edge of the fillet table. That way I can get my blade flush with the fillet table, rather than if I'm here, I'm always going to be limited because my hand and my handle are always going to be wider than the blade. So start right here by the tail, slight angle, just push away from you and just coast right on top of the skin. Okay, now look at that. This is why so many people love Blueline tile. It's got a really minimal bloodline. You guys see that bloodline doesn't really extend past the center of the fish. We're gonna discard this skin right here. Now, the only thing you got left to do is do a little fine tuning. So those pin bones I told you about, I like to feel for them. And with tilefish, it's pretty unique because their pin bones actually go the majority of the fish. So if you wanted to take tweezers, you could, but I'm gonna cut this out and get rid of the bloodline entirely. I'm gonna go on one side of the bloodline. I'm gonna go on the other side of the bloodline. Now I've removed the bloodline and the bones of this fish, and you're ready to go. You got delicious Blueline tilefish for dinner. So if you guys are interested in the knife I used today, super versatile knife, I'm gonna have it linked below for you guys. If you guys like this fillet demo, go ahead and like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one.